Hey guys, Melon Popper here again. Got a little short video for you. I want to show you this new patch that's come out for Assetto Corsa Evo. I believe it's V version 0.1.6. And this one adds the Fuji Raceway, and also there's some VR fixes and a lot of other fixes. I'll show you all of that after we do a lap or two around the track. I'm going to show you the track first. Obviously, right off the bat, you can see that the still some texture issues with the pixels. With the AMD, this is on a 7900 XTX AMD GPU. Has 24 gig of RAM, and it's not overclocked. We're getting about 45 frames, 46, 47, 48. Yeah, about 48 frames per second right now. That's with me recording to the hard drive in a super high quality. I'm going to upload this later in 4K, so it'll be nice and crisp. The CPU on this rig is a AMD 9800 X3D. I wasn't expecting to hear cars go by while I'm in the pit. Interesting. Alright, I guess they're out there doing laps. Okay, so let's just get to it and see what it looks like. And then we'll go over the settings and things like that, the patch notes, etc. Alright, so we can just restart session. There we go. Drive. Let's get our headset on. Up. Okay. Space to center. Looks pretty good. I don't know if they've done any updating to the AI. They really need to, but hopefully they've working on that too, but just didn't mention it in the patch notes. Yeah, it's running pretty good. Usually once the field separates, the frame rate will go up, and I usually end up around the 55 to 60 frames with these settings. This is with the Pimax Crystal Light that I'm using right now for the VR. And I have each panel inside the headset at 60% resolution. There's the mountain, or the volcano. How cool is that? The settings in the game, I pretty much set everything to the lowest as possible. And then just added a little bit of grass, a little bit of sharpening with the anti-aliasing settings. I'll show you all that in a minute. Looks like the textures are still busted on the people out here. Yeah, they're still flickering mess. Yeah. Okay, that is down to a crawl here. I don't know how bad my car is. I got a red light on my left rear tire, but it looks like it's just heat. Yeah, beautiful map. The performance seems pretty much on par with what I've seen on the other maps. There's a couple spots over here where you can see the frame rate must be dropping some. I can see, like, when I pan around like this, it might get a little choppy. Here it looks pretty good. Alright, let's drive this thing like a Honda and actually use all of the RPM range instead of half. There we go. It's a lot better when you give it the beans. So it looks like the VR mirrors are working. The far right one does not. I don't know why that doesn't work. How's this car handle? She's soft. I haven't touched anything. I've been playing the heck out of Forza Motorsport. And I've got some guys that we play all day, every day, pretty much. Whenever we're off work and whatnot. This looks good in VR. And the Forza is a lot of fun, but it doesn't have VR support. So this is as soon as they open up the online multiplayer for Assetto Corsa Evo. then I'm going to be moving over to streaming this instead of Forza. And I intend on bringing my viewers and my viewers and friends that race with me. I hope to bring them over to Evo as well. But, you know, it's not free, so not everybody's going to make it. And this game is on PC. I don't know if they're going to have Xbox support and all that. Not really sure of the history of the AC franchise and consoles. They really take this corner slow, don't they? The game looks good. I mean, it's even at 60% resolution, the things in the really far distance aren't crystal clear. They're pretty good. Oh, we're getting a weird black box here. What is that? We're getting swallowed alive. Alright, we got some kind of weird graphical glitch going on here. Huh. Let's see if that's coming through on the recording. Yeah, it is, isn't it? How weird. So, frame rate 48, frame time 21. Quite a bit of micro stutter, but I am recording. Whatever that glitch was seems to have cleared itself up. Alright, so I think we got a good look at the map. I say map because I'm always playing first person shooters. In any case, if you want to see through the lenses, check this out. This may not work too good, but that might look pretty wild. Anyway, I tried. Probably would have to get a proper camera and put it right on the lens to see exactly what I see, but it's pretty close to what you're seeing on the screen right now. Got some glare in here, some chrome dome is shining. Alright, so let's go to the windows. I'll do a display capture. So this is my desktop here. Come out of Evo for a second. Okay, so in the Pimax, the way I launch this is I go into my Pimax Crystal Light and I go to my device settings. And right now I'm testing 90 hertz just to make sure if I ever get over 70, I don't want it to cap it or anything. I don't know if it would. Alright, and then games, you want to go to Assetto Corsa Evo, enable it, customize, change this to 60%. That's a good starting point. Turn on the Pimax quad views, performance mode. These are probably defaults. I added 2 brightness right here just to help it be closer to my actual, this is LG 45-inch ultrawide 3440 by 1440p OLED. So it's super bright, and sometimes when you put on a VR headset, it's quite a bit dimmer, so I bumped that up to help. And of course you want to do your updates and make sure that OpenXR runtime is Pimax OpenXR. And the rest of it, I pretty much leave defaults, I believe, yeah. So, alright, so we'll look into the game itself. And I'll show you the settings I'm using there. You want to close this box for sure. That little box, I have noticed, causes problems sometimes. So I'm just hit my Windows key here real quick. Close that, minimize that. Back to the game. Alright, you can see in the bottom right corner, V01.6, status is online. So let's hit continue here. Alright, so it's got my VR headset in my lap here. I'm going to put it up here for a minute. It doesn't block me much. Alright, so about 48 frames here while we're recording, 0 micro stutter, frame time 20 milliseconds. That's high frame time, you know, in a first-person shooter you would want like 6 or 10. It's double because of the VR. Alright, so let's go to settings and video. So these are just the flat monitor settings, that 3440, 1440p I mentioned earlier. This is a 240 hertz monitor, so I maxed that out so we don't artificially cap the frame rate. I don't use VSync. Seems like running it on full screen is necessary. I tried running it without full screen so I could tab back and forth to things. It didn't work too hot for me. Um, Also, in the graphics settings, I usually grab this slider, put it on the lowest possible. Right now it says custom because I've changed some things. So I set it to low first, apply that, and then I set it up this way. Basically, it's doing native AA, so it's not doing any kind of upscaling. And then anti-aliasing. Previously, I was just using FXAA, but it seems like with the new track, a little more anti-aliasing was necessary to keep the jaggies away. And then the texturing, I always keep that all the way up. 24 gig of RAM on this 7900 XTX AMD video card. So we have the texture pull all the way up. You may want to lower that if you have a different card. Level of detail, I believe that's track details. I don't really care much about that. The vehicle details, I do bump up to medium. I still see sometimes in the S2000 the convertibles where the top, not the top, but because it has no roof, but the windshield up front will kind of maybe disappear in the distance. So you might want to go up a little bit further with that one next time. Hit apply there just so we got it. By the way, when you make these changes, when you finish making all your changes, make sure you restart the game because a lot of it will not take effect and some of it will take effect on the fly. So it can be misleading. You might think it's working and making the change and it's not. So everything here, lighting, I keep everything the lowest. That's fine. Don't care about reflections. Shadows, right now I've got it at the minimum settings. Looks okay. Grass density, turn that on low just so it's not completely, looks like it's just been mowed. And post-processing, I'm using Cinematic 1. I've heard that makes the colors a little more vivid, which is beneficial for streaming in VR maybe. But the default, I think, is just called default. We turn off depth of field and we turn off motion blur. And these are the current mirror settings. I can't see because my headset's away here. So we noticed in the video we were just driving around and that far right mirror was not working, and I don't know why. It seems like everything is set here. I've tried this dynamic setting here. That is a bad idea. The view in the mirrors went bananas. It was pointing at things that weren't even possible to be seen at that time. So anyway, those are the settings that are working pretty good for me. Usually running around the track around 50 to 60 frames per second, depending on how many cars are in the view mostly. But yeah, that's it. I think that's everything. I've mentioned it before, but I do stream on Twitch every day. I'm playing a whole lot of Forza Motorsport at the moment. But as soon as this goes to online multiplayer, I'll be moving over to this, probably most exclusively, and not so much in the Forza anymore, if at all. May retire from that one. But we do stream every day, and I have a Discord channel, and I have a YouTube channel as well where you're seeing this. And so there are links for that in the description, and I'll also do a little copy pasted and put my full rig setup here so you know what I got. And if you wanted to clone a setup like this, you could do it. And if you have any questions, just post them in the comments, and I read everything in there. And if there's any questions, I will jump on that and try to help you out, even if it's a different setup. All right, have a great day. GG's, and I'll see you next time.